In New York City, whose black population approaches 20%, only 6% of the police force is black. David Walker is one of the 1,400 black members of New York's force. Has always been to be a cop. Now a veteran of 2 years on the force, his beat is Central Harlem, a community bursting at the seams with a new sense of black awareness. As a black cop, David Walker's allegiance to this ideal is constantly under question.
All of this basically is an education for me, because I'm with life, I'm very close to life. I'm seeing all phases of life being performed. I see birth, and I see death. And I think performing in that sort of a function, I'm fulfilling my own life and being of a service to the community. I feel my job is to protect property and life and property, right? But I'm not going to put myself in the position of the judge, the jury, and the executioner, you understand? If I shoot that fellow for stealing a TV or a case of beer, why should I shoot him? When he goes to trial in court, the judge, the maximum sentence he'll get is about 2 years. So why should I shoot a kid? I'm executing him at the same time. I'm just as loyal as any other cop. I feel them feeling for my loyalty. It's hard to explain, but it's like having a monkey on your back. The white officer feel that because you're black, working in a black community, you should be out in the front. You should be the front runner. This suppression of crime, controlling the situation. They look at you. I feel them looking at me all the time. Looking at how I handle a certain situation. And in fact, I'm careful because I feel I'm being used as a guide. And they've learned from me.
Give my keys, man! You give my keys, man! Where's he at? You give my keys, man! I don't give a damn about nothing. You give my keys, man! Give my keys about what? What hurt you? Let me go about what? Don't hurt you. Let me hurt you. I ain't hurt you, man. Don't get excited, buddy. I want my keys. I want to have my keys. Let's wear this away, all right? Let's talk like a man. Man. Control yourself. You're grown, man. Control yourself. I don't give about a grown man nothing. You took my keys, right? Get out. Don't stop. All right, relax.
We're being used like tools for the system of black cop today, which I think is unfortunate. There's a lot about the system that should be changed, a lot of changes that should be made. And unfortunately, I'm not in a position to make these changes. If I can help in any way to change the system, I'll help as much as I can. Black power? However, it's a difficult position to put yourself in, really. All these organizations, I feel, help our people in some way. Anything that can help our people, it's beautiful to me, really. As long as you don't overdo it. When I say overdo it, I mean exaggerate the point one day and run away the next day. You want me to elaborate on that?
Yeah, give me
We have a few militants out there in the street who are hopping and barking about what should happen, how many changes should be taking place. And as soon as their point is made, as soon as a little money is put in their pocket, they'll make it the next day. You won't see them again for a while. Then they'll come back next week and try to make money another way. Extortion artists, I call them.
Black man as a policeman, he's out of the category of being black any longer. Because just the mere thing of him being a policeman shows that he's turned against blackness, because to be a policeman, he has to think like a policeman, and the originating of police was the white man, in this country anyway. So therefore, he has to think like the white man, he has to act like the white man, he has to treat you like the white man treats you. So if you riding down the street and they both stop you, he's going to treat you worse than the white man does to prove to him that he is qualified to be a police with him. So therefore, he's nothing but Uncle Tom.
I don't feel completely together inside, because I know I'm caught in the middle. I think the thing to do is to keep trying to find a way out, and not until I find that way out will I actually be comfortable with myself.
Deputy Inspector Arthur C. Hill, commander of the 28th Precinct in Harlem and one of the highest-ranking black men on the New York force, discusses the black officer's dilemma.
I would suspect that most black officers, as I do, wear two hats. And I would suspect strongly that officers have a problem in identifying which self to surface. And I personally, this is just an opinion, I see, unless conditions change, black officers, or at least black administrators in police agencies, having definite problems, psychological problems. So much of the community views him as a representative of the establishment that they consider responsible for their plight. And in many ways, they see him as some kind of Judas. Many black officers are very sensitive to the needs and the problems of the black communities. This is one of the reasons that we're so much in demand of black officers. This is why we're trying to gear some of our recruitment to black communities to increase these. Of necessity, a black man can empathize and understand black problems better, I believe. I've met some white officers that, because of their socialization process, do really dig black people, do understand the problem, and do relate very positively. I've seen some right in this command. So I would not eliminate anyone from serving a black community based on skin color, per se. No, I'm not in that position. I do think that by and large, generally black officers can understand the mores and the folkways and the values of black people to a greater extent than white people that came from a foreign environment, so to speak, like suburbia.
We asked Deputy Inspector Hill whether civilians should be in control of the police.
I would suspect that, as was brought out in the paper, the white cops felt that civilians didn't have the sophistication or expertise to evaluate police conduct. This is just the reason why I think I favor it. I believe in civilian control of military and police institutions. I think we tread on dangerous ground when the civilian can control these organizations.
In Los Angeles, 4% of the police force is black, while 14% of the population is black. Elements of the black community consider the black cop to be even more repressive than his white counterpart.
Their motto is to protect and serve, but they don't protect the black cats off in the ghetto. They more or less harass them.
Don't ask me if a black cop should shoot looters. A policeman is a policeman, no matter the color. Now, whether policemen should shoot looters is the question.
To be a policeman, it takes a certain kind of person. And I My own personal opinion is that they usually are brutal. They like the instant authority that comes with the badge and the uniform.
Harrison Bailey is one of 200 black policemen on the Los Angeles force. A veteran of 20 years, Officer Bailey prepares for night patrol in the Wilshire section of Los Angeles.
I prefer as being a working policeman in the street. Between the two of us, my partner and I, we have almost 40 years of experience. I think in my original training, I go back to the concept of the spirit of the law, not the letter of the law. If the law was enforced to the letter of the law in every instance, then sometimes justice wouldn't prevail.
14 ball, 3 ball going in with it. It's going to fight. Thank you.
Some individuals are going to be, so to speak, a little drunk with power. I have seen it. I don't feel that way because over a period of years I've gotten to the place where I don't have that personal feeling, or I don't become emotionally involved in a situation whereby it's a direct affront towards me as an individual. I've been called an Uncle Tom more than once. A model respect that all policemen have, be black or white, has gone down over a period of years due to the way the laws have been changed around and the way the courts have handled the situation.
Well, I've had experiences with black cops that came down in a worse manner than the white ones have. More brutal. I don't know. It's just an ego thing with them.
Anytime a man can deprive another person of his liberty, he's not going to like you. I mean, there's no way in the world that you're going to get people to actually love a policeman.
He's not going into the white neighborhoods, stopping these people from doing things. He's coming around us. He can mingle with us because he's black, and then he takes advantage of us in so many different ways. You know, like, for instance, okay, we get stopped. Instead of normally, you know, get pulled over to the side and they say, okay, give me an operator's license or something like this, you know. You don't get this kind of treatment. You get knocked up against the car or something of this nature. It's really brutality.
Seem to take the attitude that just because they are black, the law doesn't apply to them equally as well as somebody else. And I think this is where part of the problem lies. They want to be exempt from the law because I am of color and I am a policeman, so they feel that I should allow them to go and take somebody else, but I don't feel that way about it at all.
Lieutenant Edward C. Henry, highest-ranking Negro on the Los Angeles force.
I think it's very important the manner in which the officer conducts himself. If he conducts himself in a manner in which will invite to respect of the community, then he will get it. But if he doesn't, then he will receive the disfavor of the community, and they will not respect him. And he is the officer who is accused of being the Uncle Tom and being a traitor to the black community. I think if the black policeman would identify his role as a policeman as opposed to his role as a Negro, then this dilemma would be somewhat lessened or even completely eliminated.
The black cop is the man in the middle. He seeks acceptance in the police community, which reflects the white society and the status quo. On the other hand, he's a black man from a black community, which is demanding change, a community which continues to ask him, which side is he on?